please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, as well as turn on your notifications so you won't miss when I upload a new video. With that said, let's get on with today's video. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we will be doing the Ellie and Mac Beatbox Romper. I do have the clips sped up, so I'm just going to talk a little bit here and there, and hopefully you can understand what I'm doing. The first part here is just the hood. I'm just doing the hood, putting the hood together, and there are both lining pieces and outer pieces. I'm using the same fabric for both. You know, I'm using the same fabric for everything, so you won't see any contrast or anything. This was kind of just a tester pattern, so I just used some fabric that I already had, but it turned out really cute in the end. But yeah, you won't see any different lining or any contrasting fabrics here. I'm just going to use the same fabric, and I'm going to clip that all together. I am using my serger for the majority of this project. I'm trying to get more comfortable with it, so I am going to use my serger for the entire project. I think I had to use the sewing machine a couple of times, so you might see that throughout as well. But yeah, I'm not going to do much talking through this sewing video. I had audio to it, and the audio just was a complete mess, so I'm just trying to voice over. So yeah, I'm not going to talk much though. I think by just watching it, it's pretty self-explanatory, because I do show what pattern pieces I'm doing at what time, so you all will see that. And if you're interested in seeing how this Beatbox Romper turned out, then keep on watching till the end. So as you see here, I have got done putting together both my lining part of my hoodie and my outer part of my hoodie, and the next thing I'm going to do is I have to connect them together. I just say look at the pattern on this part. At first I got a little bit confused because I did it a little bit differently than I did a hood before, so just pay attention to the pattern and you should do fine. And you see me here getting the hood band ready, and so that is my next step. I'm going to go ahead and add that together, and then I'm going to clip it around the edges of the lining piece and the hood piece to clip the whole thing together before I go over and I serge all the raw edges. Okay, so I have everything clipped together on one side. Now I need to go through and clip the outer portion to it, or the lining portion to it. So I'm gonna do the same thing and clip it all together. And once I'm done, I'll go over and serge it all together. That wasn't too hard on the serger. I'm getting a little better at it and more comfortable with it, but there's my finished hood. In retrospect, I should have made the hood much bigger because my daughter has a lot of hair, so I wish I would have made the hood a little bit bigger, but I'll do that next time. Like I said, this was my first time making it. So the next part I'm going to work on is the kangaroo pocket. And basically it comes in two pieces, and I'm just going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to sew them together around the edges, leaving a section open so I can turn it. Now I did try to do this with the serger, and I don't know why I tried to do this with the serger, especially on the curves, because I struggled terribly. But I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know if I showed it in the clip, but I started with the serger on the straight parts, and then I did eventually on the parts that I just couldn't get correct with the serger, I just went ahead and sewed it together on my sewing machine, and it turned out all right in the end. And then I'm gonna turn it, and we're going to find our space for it on the front of our romper. Now it's time to get out the front piece of our romper, and I apologize that you're not able to see everything. I do not have a huge table, so I'm trying to work, you know, as best I can. But I'm just gonna take my front piece and I'm gonna find that mark where the pocket is supposed to go, because I didn't mark it. I didn't want to mark my fabric, but I'm just gonna line it up with a piece of tape so that I can see where it's supposed to go, and then I'll line my pocket up and pin it onto the front of my pattern, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sew it on my sewing machine. This romper is just so cute, and I feel like it's really versatile. Like, next time I make it, I do enjoy the kangaroo pocket, but next time I think I'm actually going to make it without the kangaroo pocket, without the hood, and I'm going to add some actual side pockets into it, because I know my daughter would love to have some side pockets. So I think that's what I'm going to do the next time I make this. Another change that I would make is, as you can see, like, the neckline has no opening, no zipper, no snaps or anything, and for bigger kids that is a little bit harder to get into and out of. Once she tried it on, we had kind of a hard time getting her in and out of it, even though it was oversized for her. So the next time I'll figure out a way to add in maybe a snap placket, or figure out a way to add in a zipper there at the front of it, so that it will she'll be able to get in and out of it much easier on her own. So now that I have my pocket sewn on, you see there it's all sewn on. I'm gonna move on to the next part. I'm gonna set that aside, and I believe the next part that I work on is my back piece. I'm gonna take my back piece, and I think I have to join them at the shoulders. That's the next part. Yeah, I'm gonna take the back portion of the Beatbox Romper, and I'm going to join them at the shoulders, and I'm just gonna serge them together at the shoulders. So the next part of this pattern is to add the hood onto the neckline, and this pattern also comes with the option to just do like a neck band or just, you know, like with no hood, but I chose to do the hood. Like I said, next time I will make the hood bigger because my daughter has a lot of hair, and as well as she's a little taller, so the hood kind of fit a little snug on her, so I'll do that next time. But yeah, you're just going to kind of, I did it wrong at first, but the first thing you're supposed to do is kind of cross the front of the hood onto the front part of the front portion of the bodice, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. You make sure you find the front center and the back center, and on the front center you're going to crisscross those two end parts of your hood, and you're going to baste them down, and then you're going to distribute the rest of your hood around the rest of the neckline. So that's what I'm doing right there. I'm finding that section, and then I'm going to have to go around, and I did pin this so that I wouldn't get any gaps, because I am going to serge it on, and I didn't get any gaps, which is good. So, but yeah, I did do the hood wrong at first, so you just have to make sure you crisscross it in the front and baste it down, and then you distribute the rest of the hood to the neckline. And here I am showing you where you need to baste it down. As I showed you my mistake as well, I didn't want anybody to make that same mistake, because I did go and pin that whole thing, and then I had to go back and pay attention and do it correctly. So here I am just crisscrossing that, and I baste it down right there on that front center, and then I distribute the hood the rest of the way. Here I went ahead and serged the hood on. So now I'm just going to line up my front and back pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and on my sewing machine I'm going to sew the entire side seam on both sides, and then I'm going to, I think I serged the rough edges later. I don't think I did it in this clip, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sew those sides together, and then the next part will be our sleeves I'm gonna work on. So now that I have both sides sewn together, I'm gonna go ahead and take out my sleeve pattern and work on my sleeves. I'm just getting my pattern piece out there, and there are my two sleeves. So I'm gonna set the romper aside, and the sleeves are no different than any other sleeves. I chose to put them together and go ahead and serge down both sides, and then go ahead and insert them in and put them in. You can also do a flat lay if that's how you choose to do it, but I just did it this way, and it wasn't it wasn't hard. And I went ahead and I added them into my sleeve area, and I matched up those armpit seams. And I know there are technical words for it, but they're escaping me at this moment. So I just went ahead and added the sleeves in, and I pinned all around to make sure that they were on there evenly. And I'm going to sew the both of them together. So right there in that clip, that's where I was telling you I was going to go ahead and finish the side seams. So that's where I went ahead and searched those side seams. Then I went ahead and finished pinning my sleeves in. So I'm going to pin the sleeves in and sew them on, and I will be back to let you know the next step. So now that I have everything pinned, I went ahead and sewed it on, and as you can see, the sleeves and everything are on and finished. I did use the serger, so everything looks nice and clean. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move ahead to the arm cuffs. They're called long sleeve cuffs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do those, and you do these like any other cuffs. There's no difference. You just put them together, right sides together, serge the edge, and then turn them out. So that is what I'm gonna do for these, and then I will be back once I've sewn them on. So now I have two cuffs made, and I'm just going to match those seams up with the seams on the sleeve and pin them together, and then I'm going to serge them on the serger and turn them out, and then we'll move on to the next part of this pattern. Now that I have our sleeves and sleeve cuffs done, we're going to move to closing up the crotch of the pants. Now the pattern does also give you the option to add snaps to this part, but it seems to me like that's more for if you're making this for like a baby or a toddler, you know, for changing their diaper. Not so much if you're making it for a bigger kid. I didn't want that option. But yeah, I just went ahead and closed up that crotch area. I did serge it. I struggled a little bit in the curve, but I got it done. I had one little small gap, and so I closed it with my sewing machine, and everything is fine. And now the next thing I'm going to do is work on, I believe, the cuffs for the romper. That's the last part of the thing, but there I'm just showing you that crotch area. It laid really nicely. Yeah, these are the leg cuffs. Now these should have been called long leg cuffs. Like, they were extremely long. And what I did to change them a bit is, well, what I did to change the pattern in general was when I first cut out the front and back pieces, instead of cutting them off at a size 8, which is what I cut, I just cut them down to the longest length, which was, I believe, a 14. I think I might have cut them to like a, I don't know. I cut them really long though. I cut the legs itself longer. So you'll see me put together these cuffs here, but then once I put them together, you will see me trim them because I didn't need them to be as long. I didn't like the look of the super long cuff on that was in the pattern picture. So I just made my actual legs on my front and back piece longer, and then made these cuffs a little shorter so it would lay more like a normal romper. So right now I'm just putting together these two, serging the edges, and then I'm gonna flip them out just like any other cuff. And like I said, I'm gonna trim them, and then we'll just add them onto our leg pieces, serge those on, and then we will be done with our romper. Here I'm just gonna lay the two cuff pieces on top of each other, and I cut about maybe 2 inches off completely, and so I made them shorter, and the result was really good. Like, I still had room to fold them up, and they still reached the floor, and they were just a little lower on the leg than in the actual Beatbox Romper pictures, which I enjoyed a lot. So here I'm just going to attach them the same way I did the sleeve cuffs. I'm going to match up the seams, and I'm going to go ahead and serge them on, and then we'll turn them out and we'll see what it looks like. So we are all done with the romper, and here are some pictures of my daughter. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, let me know down in the comment section. See you all in the next video.